What's going on, everybody? Welcome to another episode of the Hood Husband Podcast. I'm your host, Terry Duran. I got my man, Jay Bob, on the building. What's up,
Not
bro?
much, man. Looking forward to once again another great episode here for the night. Yeah, hopefully we get that feedback. Those daddy duties there is everything for them. But want to quickly remind you can catch us on TikTok as well. Subscribe to us on YouTube at Hold Up Podcast. And for those of you interested in promos or shout outs, you can shoot us a DM on IG at Hold Up Podcast, as well as emails at holdupodcast@gmail.com. All right, T.
I want to start off by giving a shout out to my man, Brother Soul Productions, for keeping us laced with our background music. I'd like to remind everybody to continue supporting the podcast through our Cash App and our PayPal. And I'd like to remind everybody that you can catch the audio playback of the podcast every Monday afternoon at 4 p.m. Central Standard Time on thecore94.com. Now, today's episode is titled You're Being Delusional. And we're going to be having a conversation about how modern dating and the modern dating world has created unrealistic dating expectations for men and for women. So that phrase, you being delusional, that's the ultimate accountability that you got to have if you considered a good friend or family member these days. But you know how we do around here, man. We like to discuss stuff we've seen trending on our timeline. So we got a couple interesting videos that I'm interested to speak about today. This first video talks about the importance of having a optimistic perspective on dating in the opposite sex in order to actually have success. Let's take a look.
If you're sitting there thinking, man, I always do the laundry and he never does the laundry, and he never, like, yes, you can make yourself crazy, but you can also say, well, you know what? I haven't had to pay an electric bill in 13 years because he always takes care of that. And so you can just change what you're choosing to focus on.
Yeah, where your focus goes.
They're doing something. And so choose to focus on that. And then you'll find that when you focus on the good, you have more good feelings towards the person, which just is good for both of you.
Yeah, buddy.
But I find it very hard to imagine that there's anybody that doesn't offer value somewhere.
Now, I think that was real interesting perspective because what I've observed, with my discussing relationships and dating and all that, and just being a man in general, I think men overall, I think we focus on the things that we like about women, and our interest or love for a particular woman makes it easier for us to overlook and find ways around the shortcomings of the things that we don't like. And from what I've seen, I think women kind of approach it the exact opposite. It's like they start off the immediate interaction with the man is they're searching for what they don't like. They're searching for a reason to curve them or disqualify them. And they do the same thing when they're actually dating a man. They focus on all the things that they don't have, all the things he's not doing. They constantly bring up the problems, and that changes the dynamic of the dating and the dating experience for the man. And so I think what they said is very profound. Having an optimistic perspective, or where you're acknowledging the positive things that they do or bring, I think makes a big difference.
I mean, they bring up some interesting points in a very different way of looking at it. I guess you could say it's an outside the box way of looking at things here, right? Especially like you said, looking at the positive instead of the negatives. Like you said, most men will focus on more of the positive than the negatives. It's when they start to notice when I guess the positives outweigh the negatives in a woman. And like you said, the women, they kind of focus on a reason to curve you. They're looking for one thing. And you know what? I think the big elephant in the room is, I think a lot of women, and I think we're going to get into this later on tonight, is they think they can have it all. Let's just say they have 5 qualities that they're looking for in a man. They want all those 5, and a lot of times you're lucky if you get 3 of those 5.
True, your perspective in what we'll be discussing that a little bit later, being realistic about what you expect out of others, definitely plays a big factor. But I think what they were talking about in the video, I think that's how women convince themselves that to leave their marriages or to leave good situations, because it's like, nah, the situation that you had a house, you drove a luxury car, you lived a comfortable lifestyle. Yeah, you had to contribute. Yeah, you had to pay some bills and help out. But overall, you had a reliable man, a man that was providing stability and all that. But they will ignore all of that and focus only on the negative. And I've noticed it also with my daughter. Like with kids, I think the fact that I didn't have a dad made me kind of view the things that men contributed to a household
Yeah.
different. So I was always appreciative of anything my stepdad did, because in my mind, I ain't your real son. You ain't have to
Right.
do that. You know what I mean? Like, so I had an appreciation for it because I didn't have a dad. But some of the entitlement that come from the kids that do have a dad, they overlook all the positives and they only focus on the negative. Like, I notice when I have to correct my daughter or tell my daughter something, she reacts as if everything I say to her is negative and I don't never,
Right.
you know what I'm saying? Like, all I do is complain about it. I'm like, hold on. Like, you need to take a step back and acknowledge all the things that I do for you, and the
Mm.
things that I'm very appreciative of. Like, just because I have to correct you or make you do something, that don't mean that that's all I see about you. So I have to have those kind of conversations, and I think that's just, I don't know if it's just the natural way for women to view things, but it's a very common thing for them to only focus on what they perceive to be
Yeah,
negative or
I,
lacking.
I think for many, many were biologically wired to respond emotionally to things, right? Like just like you said earlier, women leave good marriages all the time, and a lot of times it's based on their emotion, how they feel. They're not quote unquote happy, whatever that might mean to them.
Yeah, and that's the danger of it, because your feelings, even though they may be 100% accurate to you, they may not actually reflect what is taking place, what the other person is thinking or feeling, or the scenario at hand. And that's very difficult to get women to understand that, because how they feel about a situation is so profound to them. But a lot of times their feelings are based off their interpretation of his behavior. We see how difficult it is to have a conversation with a woman without her interpreting it in a super negative way. You know what I mean? Like, or rephrasing it, rewording it. Like, it's hard for even to them to summarize what you just said, especially if it's something that
Yeah.
they disagree with. So um, we see that on social media in the comments. You can write something and they'll still say you said something different. So doing that in real life, it can be a very difficult thing, uh, based off how they feel. That's why, feelings aren't facts has become such a big cliche, because it's accurate. Yeah, you may feel that way, and that may be a 100% accurate way of how you feel, but that does not mean that that's the accurate portrayal of the scenario at hand. All right, now let's keep things rolling, man. This next video, I can't tell if it's a skit.
Yeah.
Whenever something really private is on
Yeah.
camera, my senses go off. But it's a
Uh,
teachable moment regardless. So this next video is a mom bringing her 18-year-old daughter out to talk to her about wearing a robe in front of her man. Let's take a look.
I brought you outside to tell you you cannot walk around my man with this robe on. I don't know if you have clothes under there or not. You do not walk around my man with the robe on, okay?
Why you got
Angela?
me hollering at me?
Because
Go
you
holler
don't.
at him. If you watching me, that's a problem. I'm a child.
You're not a child. You 18. I
So
don't
he
want
can
you
just
walking.
watch me and you gonna fuss at me?
You need to dress
Just rallying
appropriately.
up your man in the house?
No, I'm rallying up you. You need to dress appropriately, okay? Or you're
Girl,
going to get
you
out of my
said
house.
it.
No, you
said
said
it.
don't
I'll
refer
get
to me
out.
as girl.
Now, to me, I think there's accountability on
Yep.
both sides. I think for a girl that's a teenage girl, young woman, young lady, however you want to categorize her, I think it is partially on her to make sure that her body is covered and she is dressed appropriately in front of
Yeah.
any man, any boy. You know what I'm saying? Whether it's a teenager, whether it's a grown man, whether it's her brothers, etc. I think it's partially on you to make sure that you are dressed appropriately. Um, and as a man, I think you can direct what you focus your attention on. Like, if you're staring at a teenager or you're looking at her in a way that you're sexualizing her, then that's partially on her as well. Um, I can also understand if you're a man dating a woman that has a teenage daughter, she's walking around in tights all the time and biker shorts and whatnot. Like, you can't unsee it.
No.
You can't not, you know what I'm saying? Like, yeah, you cannot stare, you cannot look at her walk back and forth, but you're going to notice her shape and those type of things. So that wouldn't excuse acting on, sexual attraction and whatnot, but I can understand both sides of the scenario. I just don't like how the mom is bringing it
Right.
to her. Like, what are you saying to him? You know what I'm saying? Like yeah, she needs to make sure she shouldn't be naked under the robe because it could fall over, it could come open.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Like something like that could accidentally happen. But just making it like the whole onus on her is to not um get my man aroused. Like I disagree with
Yeah,
that
no,
part of it.
no doubt about it. I mean, I think both things can be true at the same time. I think she's right. Hey, she shouldn't dress inappropriate in front of her boyfriend here. I think there needs to be a certain level of decorum. So I get that part. I mean, why this was put on camera, like you said, we don't know if this was a skit or not, but there's a valid point to this. It's not just, and no different from, and we hear about this all the time. Mothers dressing in front of their kids inappropriately, walking around the house in their bra pants, their lingerie. Like we see that too. So I think that falls into the same category of dressing appropriately and having a level of decorum about that.
True, especially as they get older and they recognize the differences and all those type of things. Uh, you I don't think it's just a
Mhm.
generational thing where you had a certain level of respect in the household. But the way that the daughter reacted in the video, she was probably upset. But it felt like she was kind of, I'll leave it
Yeah.
then. You know what I'm saying? Like she maybe she responded to her mom bringing it to her. Um, but she should feel like that because if you in a robe, especially if you walking around the house in a robe naked, what if you drop something and you bend over to pick it
Yeah.
up, or you know what I'm saying? Like anything could happen where you could be exposing your body. But I would expect now, obviously, the intention of the robe is to cover
Mhm.
yourself up. So the intent is, I don't believe, is there to be trying
Mhm.
to walk around and show off your body or whatnot. What comes to mind when I saw this was the scene from Players Club with when Ebony was walking around
Oh
the apartment
yeah.
in her panties in front of
With his boyfriend. Yep.
Diamond's boyfriend. Yeah, you know what I'm saying? Because as a man, anytime you see a woman in her panties or her swimsuit or whatnot, those things don't make, or they're the same from a male perspective.
Mhm.
Panties and yeah, one's appropriate. You can wear it in public and all that. But what we see when we look at a
Mhm.
woman in her swimsuit and her panties are essentially the same thing. And so
Mhm.
it reminds me of kind of the speeches I used to get when I
Oh
taught middle
wow.
school. Um, because they would talk to the male teachers about, don't be alone with the students and talking about how puberty and all that, their
Yeah.
bodies and all this type of stuff. Like some of them look
Wrong.
like they did not look
Wow.
like middle school. You know what I'm saying? And some of them were
Yeah.
parents already. Some of them were already sexually active. So they looked like that. You know what I mean? Like so for the boys, they respond to them. The ones that are super thick, the ones that are curvaceous. And they're in their prime. They 16 and
Yeah.
you know what I'm saying? Like they're that's when most of them are going to be in their physical prime. So I can understand the the message the mom was trying to get across, but I think the way that she said it and recording it and posted in social media,
Yeah.
I do not think
Um.
helps at all. Like this is a private conversation if
Yeah,
it's not a
exactly.
skit.
Like question, like what kind of like what would you tell the students, like especially the female students that you have?
Oh, I mean, I talked to the student. I kept it
Hmm.
real with them. You know what I mean? That's one of the reasons I was their favorite teacher. I'm like, look, man, I'm gonna talk to y'all like y'all young adults. Y'all old enough to go to jail, to get pregnant, or to get killed. So talk to y'all like y'all first and second graders ain't really what's up. You know what I mean? Like so, like I taught reading, so some of the stories that I would find online for
Yep.
my quiz would be like a kid getting sexually assaulted, or having a questionable stepdad in the house. Like so, the kids would be like real engaged with my material and all this. Because it was based
Yeah.
on reality, you know what I'm
Wow.
saying? Like a dude deciding to sell weed because his mama's broke, or and some of the things that the students dealt with were beyond my real
Right.
comprehension. You know what
What?
I'm saying? Like I didn't I was sheltered
Yeah.
compared to what
What,
I saw some of those
what do you
kids dealing
consider
with.
like at? at-risk youth.
Yeah, the school that I taught at was like 98%
Okay,
Hispanic, and it was in the
gotcha.
hood. You know what I mean? So yeah, it was low socioeconomic status or whatnot. And then the cultural differences. You know what I'm saying? Like with them being Hispanic, um, Hispanics that live in America, in their world, they're on an upper tier of family just because they live
Wow.
in America, like how they were perceived by their family and all that. The ones that still have family in Mexico, like so they had this entitlement, like, man, I'm the shit in my family. You know what I'm
Wow.
saying? Like, and I'm like, man, you make straight F. You you did not go wrong, Mike. You making straight F's and you barely, but to their family
They
members, like,
they,
man, I
they
wear
made it.
Jordans when I go back to Mexico. Oh yeah,
Wow.
they had that
That's
era of it.
that's interesting.
So and teenage pregnancy is viewed differently in their culture too. Like it
It wasn't
wasn't
seen as,
you're not
so you're
meant
saying
to.
like it wasn't seen as something that was taboo, but rather common or something?
I mean, it's taboo or undesired,
Mhm.
I would say, in across all cultures, but it wasn't. I mean, I'm from the era where that was like something we were preached and
Yeah,
talked about.
same here.
Uh, Having a teenage pregnancy didn't seem like it. It was kind of almost expected to be a teen. You know, by the time you were 20, you at least had one kid for the
Wow.
most part. Um, but I think that has a lot to do with the times that we're in.
Yeah.
This is around 2007
Yeah.
to 2012
Gotcha.
era. So teenage parenting had already been on MTV and all this type of stuff. So it was really popularized throughout society. But this idea of girls how they dress in front of men, um, like I said, the burden is on both.
Yeah.
Um, Wearing form-fitting clothes and stuff where you see your panties
You
underneath
know.
it or
You know
see-through
what?
this and see through that, like
I,
that's not
you
age
know what?
appropriate to me.
You just brought up a point. It just made me think of something here, right? Look, and she, now I don't know if she had clothes on or not, but where did she get that from? She got that somewhere, you know. So now I'm thinking, okay, did she see her mother do it before, and now she's just, you know, because think about it like this: kids are always going to follow your example and not what you tell them.
Well, it sounds like she normally just walks around the
Gotcha.
house like that. It seems like the boyfriend is the new
Yeah.
fixture. Like now your behavior needs to change because my man is here. Or I don't know if the man moved in the house with
Yeah.
them, you know what I'm saying? Like, which will obviously change the dynamic. So it could be something like that to where it was just them two and they could walk around naked or freely or whatnot. And now things have to change because there's a man being present. And which is understandable. Adding a third, somebody of the opposite sex to your household does change
No
things.
doubt.
It would be no different than a man and his son having a woman move in. Like how you move, how you set up the bathroom, all these type of things are gonna be different. And so again, like I said, I think that the onus is on the daughter to make sure that she's got something on underneath the robe and she's covered up,
Mm.
which she was doing. Um, I don't see a problem with her wearing a robe around the house unless she was naked underneath it. That would be my only issue with it. But I think the mom publicizing this conversation is part of the problem, and that's what makes me question whether or not it was authentic or not. Let's keep things rolling, man. We about to take a quick break. When we come back, we're gonna be getting into today's topic. You're being delusional, where we're talking about some of the unrealistic expectations that men and women have as a result of the modern dating world. You are tuned into the Hold Husband podcast. We'll be back in a second. Hi, I'm relationship coach and author Terry Duran, and I am pleased to announce that my book, It's Not That Complicated, is finally available as an audiobook. So if you don't like to read or you just don't have time to read a paperback book, this audiobook is perfect for you. You can listen to it while you in your car, while you at work, etc. In the book, I break down how husband material men think and operate in regards to sex, love, and relationships, and I provide real quality insight on how husband material men approach dating. The audiobook is available on audible.com and on iTunes. All you have to do is go to one of the websites and search for my name, Terry Duran. Go download your copy today. All right, everybody, welcome back to the Hold a Husband podcast. Today's episode is titled "You're Being Delusional," and we're trying to give a little reality check to some people out there. But this is really just going to be a conversation about how the modern dating world has really created unrealistic expectations for men and for women. You know, some of the things I see people posting videos of, and other relationship gurus and experts, and some of the stuff that they say, it's all over the place. You know, like some of the stuff that I don't see will ever lead to success or a healthy relationship. But in the era we live in, it's really all about clicks and views. So how authentic or how reliable that advice actually is seems to take a backseat to that. But I wanted to start off, man. You know me, man. I like to come with the definition
Yep.
so we can all be on the same page. And I was actually a little surprised by the definition. I had never really, don't think I
Mm.
looked up the definition of delusion directly. And so it said the definition of delusional is holding firmly to a false or unrealistic belief despite objective evidence to the contrary. It involves being entirely convinced of an idea that does not align with reality, facts, or a person's cultural background, and rejecting all logical
Mm.
reasoning against it. That last part, that last sentence, it made me just think of my my battles on social
Mm.
media,
Yep.
where I'm coming with facts and I'm coming with real life experience. I'm giving real examples and all these type of things. And it is largely rejected, or they just tune out, block you, unfollow you, you know what I'm saying? Like, I don't want to hear nothing about it, even though it's very realistic. Like, other people from all around the world will attest and acknowledge that, yeah, that's what I think, that's what I feel, or that's what I experience too. But they still will find a way to try to discredit it or make it seem like I'm just trying to create something to make women look a certain way or make certain, like, come on, man, I'm just telling y'all what it really is. And so now that I see what the definition of is, like, you believe something even though it's unrealistic and don't align with nothing we see, and you reject every opportunity or every effort to try to correct your thinking. I think that's where being delusional is a very serious problem.
Yeah, absolutely, no doubt. It's the last part for me, the logical, rejecting all logical reason behind it, and you see that all the time, especially amongst women. It's not to say that men don't do it too, because we do have this, but you see a lot of women, like you said, you see it on your posts all the time. You put logic, facts, you put context behind what you're posting, you're not just posting stuff, and they still find something wrong with it. They still say, well, what about this? Matter of fact, perfect example, I'll never forget when SD put on his page, it was from the U.S. Department of Labor, because he was dispelling the myth that black women make more than black men, and he posted all the numbers, all the facts, and they came in the comments about, well, you're not counting entrepreneurs, you're not counting, folks that do ride sharing for a living, you're not counting those. What about them? I'm like, but the stats are right there in black and white. These are the numbers right here. But
Everybody's
they
included.
found ways to go move the goalposts. I mean, that was the textbook definition of delusional that we just read right here.
Yeah, and the problem with that is if you're delusional, it doesn't matter what aspect of life you're delusional about, you're not gonna have success.
No.
Now, I can understand somebody being inspired, or you're an inventor, you're working on something that's never been done before. I guess there has to be a certain level of delusion to create something that's never been done. But for the most part, especially when we're talking about interrelation, interpersonal dynamics of dating, relationships, raising kids, etc., like, we have more than enough history to figure out what works and what
Yep.
doesn't, what leads to healthy relationships or healthy environments that are conducive to raising families, and what doesn't. So arguing over that doesn't seem to make much sense. uh, I know, me personally, what made me even want to get into social media at all is seeing how I just thought women were had misconceptions about men. You know
Yeah.
what I mean? Like, I didn't think they were like delusional. Like, I just thought that, Disney had skewed their idea of romance a little bit. You know, like
Yeah. So
romantic comedies. I thought stuff like that. I thought it just needed a little tweaking,
yeah, you,
but I
yeah,
was wrong. I
you know,
definitely
you know what it
underestimated.
is, and I see this, and I've noticed it when women you see are pretty much keep things. They have this herd mentality. Like I said, you put something that like you, let's just say for example, you put something that might trigger women, maybe it's considered controversial, right? A lot of women come in your comments, and most of them are saying more or less the same thing, and they'll just co-sign what the next woman said, and it becomes an echo chamber. And we see that in a lot of aspects, and not just relationships, just a lot of aspects in life in general with women.
Yeah, you know, it's hard to explain because it's not just the women. Like there are dudes out here that are delusional
No
as
doubt.
well. Um, Growing up, I never cared about dudes that was delusional or unrealistic. Like to me, I just always viewed it as that's just more women for me. You know, like I'm not worried about you talking yourself out of
Right.
having success or being dateable. But with some of the things that women, you know, they screenshot me conversations. They show me the way dudes are moving out here, and to me, it's just like, damn, are y'all even really expecting this to work? Like to think that every woman you take on a date is supposed to have sex with you,
Yeah.
or every woman you shoot your shot at is either she like you or she's a bitch, or you know what I'm saying, like, or something crazy, like bro, like
Yeah.
wake up, you know what I'm saying? Even the best of us out here get
No
rejected, and
doubt.
you know what I'm saying, like, so to me, I don't understand how they get that. I don't know where that
I think what
delusion
they fail to
comes from.
realize, you're not going to be for everybody. It's numerically impossible to be for everybody, right? That's just math. But I think what's a lost art. I get, especially within the dating world, it's I guess communication. I think the average person under 30 didn't really grow up with those social skills. They didn't, because think about it, we had to go outside, we had to go to the club, go to the mall, and actually have to approach and talk to a woman, right? And you kind of learn through trial and error. You learn words that I think more so approaches everything. I think that's what comes out, and I think that's become a lost art. Where it's like they grew up with social media, smartphones, so a lot of times they're communicating through text messages. They're not actually talking in text, text and everything. DMs, it's indirect, right? Because you can't really read somebody's emotions or feelings through a text message or a DM.
True, yeah. I mean, to me, face-to-face interactions are always the best way to gauge a person's interest in you. And all the situations that I really want to be with in women are one-on-one for the most part. One-on-one conversations. That's the only way you're gonna get to the
Yep.
romance. To me. But I think one of the things that I notice about the generation we in now is everybody can talk about the dating pool is
Yeah.
kissing and the dating market is this and that and that, but nobody wants to acknowledge that the way that they think and the way that they view contributes to the problem in the dating pool. Because a lot of the people that when you see what they say online, and you shouldn't only talk to a woman for 5 minutes, and you shouldn't have, like I see some of the stuff that these dating guys are giving, and it's like, all right, if you a player and you just trying to run through women, then yeah, you can operate like that. But if you actually trying to have a real relationship that can lead to marriage, where you actually trying to have a family, that's not gonna work. You know what I'm saying? Like doing one of these kind of cliche guru influenced dating styles is not gonna roll. It work. It really is going to take real time interacting with that person to see how much y'all are actually compatible with one another. And to me, there's infinite more ways of figuring that out with the conversations and the videos. Just sharing social media posts with each other can give you an idea of where they're at mentally and how they view things. So to me, recognizing when your thinking or expectations are problematic, and not just laughing it off or acting like, well, I'm just gonna find the exception to the rule.
Yeah.
I think that would change a lot
And
of the way dating
exactly.
is perceived.
Here's the thing with listening to these relationship gurus. And there's some good ones out there. There's some good ones that do say good stuff. So I'm not saying right, wrong, or different on their part. But what a lot of them, a lot of it's for clicks and views, right? To bring traction to their pages. And then a lot of times, what are they doing? They're selling a master class, right? So they want you to pay whatever their monthly subscription to take their master class to teach you how to get women. And listen, and for what it's worth, like I said, I'm not knocking their hustle on what they do, but a lot of times folks just think, well, I'm just looking for a quick, easy fix, more so a band-aid post than having to actually put in the work to be better and be able to put your best forward, to be best version of yourself, so you can have dating success. And I think that's
Yeah,
it's a microcosm of the society that we live in today. Everybody wants quick, easy results here.
yeah. There's always these phrases that become popular. Doing the work,
Yeah,
working on yourself. Like no, nobody has a set definition on what that means because everybody's work or improvement is going to be different depending on what your
yeah,
shortcomings are or what your problems are. But to me, I think just being honest and holding yourself accountable about what you recognizing your own shortcomings and being willing to acknowledge and work on them. Uh, I think that's a lot
yeah,
easier for men to do. Uh, don't really have a choice.
not at all.
The delusional guys are just gonna be delusional and talking to each other on Call of Duty and all that. They can have a social life through electronics or whatnot and just complain about women on Reddit and all these different places. But in order to actually see some change, he's gonna have to change. He's gonna have to get off the couch and get in the gym and get his career going and all these type of things in order to be desired. But I think in order for anybody to have success or a sound dating strategy, you have to see things for how they actually are. You have to have a perspective on dating that reflects the world that you live in. So that may change depending on what country you're in, your age, your financial status. Like what is realistic for you and on your day-to-day life can obviously be different. But if your dating strategy is based off someone else's day-to-day life,
Well,
it's almost impossible to have success. It's kind of like you're trying to get somewhere, but you're putting the wrong address in your
but
GPS. So it's a waste of time essentially.
absolutely. I would say in order to have a healthy relationship, your perspective has to be realistic and actually applied to you. Like you said, you can't. Everybody's different. Everybody has their own path, and there's not necessarily, I guess, a linear path to having success in dating, right? I think you should just apply to yourself. You should always try to be better every day. As, just I would say, just as a person in general, it's almost like a race with no finish line. You should always want to learn something new every day.
Yeah, I think part of the problem or why delusion is so common these days is because there's so many phrases and cliches that excuse it. And I think the never settle um, mantra, I
Yeah,
think that's one of the biggest ones because the idea of settling means that you don't get everything you want, which is what you should expect out of dating.
yeah,
You don't get everything you want out of parenting. You don't get everything you want out of a career. Like, but long as you get majority of it, you should be satisfied. And I think that's the part that people don't understand. There's nothing wrong with settling. The word settle means to reach an agreement
yeah,
on something. And
yeah.
so if you have standards for what you're looking for in a spouse and somebody meets 6 out of 8 of them, well, find a way to you can compromise on those last
Exactly.
two. You know what I mean? Like if y'all are actually compatible and y'all are actually both bringing things to the table. And so I think to me understanding that and going into it with that would change a lot of experiences people have, but I think they rely on that to where it causes them to just cut off somebody for the
Okay.
silliest reasons. Oh, you didn't meet
Yeah.
my standards 100%, so you're not worth dating. And it's like, hold on, but you wasn't meeting their standards
Ex-
100%.
yeah. You know what? It's the word settle, like you said, you just defined it. But I think it's become so relative, so subjective, right? You said think about 6 out of 8, right? What is that? Almost about 80% of what you want. but you're willing to cut them off over those two. You're focused on those two, and you're willing to cut them off. And I think that's the problem that we have in today's dating. You know, the delusion that I should just have it all simply because I go and I just woke up this morning. Like you said, there we all have our flaws. We're not sufficient in everything. So this is woman, you're not gonna be sufficient in everything. You're not gonna be 100% of what that man wants. But they don't think of it like that. They think, well, I'm here. That should just be enough.
Well, I think, you know, especially for the attractive women, I think part of the thing that throws them off is they're able to consistently get time, attention, and sex from the men that they actually desire,
Yep.
the men that they find attractive and they actually want to be with. The problem is those men may not be interested in settling down or committing to her. So they'll. It's funny. I've been watching Scandal
Yeah.
again,
Okay.
and now that I'm rewatching it, man, I think it really set women back
Mm.
as far as dating goes, because just the plot of the show, the she's Olivia Pope is a side chick for the president, and she's curving senators and CEOs and all these quality men because she would rather be the president's side chick. You know what I'm saying? Like essentially. And it's like she's ruining her life and making all her life decisions based around a dude that's already married. And when we talk about the dating points and the powerful women and the entrepreneurs and the go-getters, I think Olivia Pope was kind of the media figure that's
Yeah.
I don't know if she spearheaded a lot of it.
I
But
I think to a certain degree because I mean with Scandal a little over a decade ago, and man, when it used to come on, I think it was Thursday nights. Man, for that hour, it was 8 to 9. Man, you couldn't get a text, DM from anyone. They're like, "Hey, I'm watching Scandal." Understood. So you know what it is? I think a lot of them actually live vicariously through Olivia Pope. You know, a fictional character.
I know, but just the idea of it, you know,
Yeah.
like, cause she had a center, and the guys that were pursuing her, I think they made guys look bad. They were all begging her to be with them, and like making like being with her is gonna be the ultimate thing. Like, stop. Like, I get it. It's a TV show or whatnot, but that mentality is reflected by so many regular women that are not that smashing the president. You know what I mean? Like, so it just there
Yeah.
are so many things that have created that have caused us to get to this point, and we see it all the time when we have these conversations, when we having these discussions. Celebrities are always a point of reference. But Cardi B this, but Cardi
Yeah.
B that, and Nicki Minaj, and it's like, hold on, man, you talking about women that are recognized all around the world that don't have to worry about the day-to-day struggles of a regular single mom or a regular woman. Like, these can't be your blueprint to dating, because your lifestyle doesn't reflect hers in any way except
At all.
she get a period every month just like you do. Like, other than that, what do you have in common with her lifestyle? Nothing.
Right. I mean, she's living a whole different
So
lifestyle from what you do. You know, she's somebody that's getting paid hundreds, if not millions of dollars to, to rap, to perform in front of an audience and produce music. You're just working a regular 9 to 5 job, so those two don't relate.
yeah, it's hard because oftentimes telling us somebody that they're being delusional is gonna be met with hostility.
Yeah,
They gonna talk to you less. They gonna cut. You know what I'm saying? Like, they're gonna respond in a negative way. So for most people, they just mind their business.
yeah,
Like, sometimes I'll hear somebody telling me something unrealistic, and I don't feel like sitting there and having no 30-40 minute discussion about why you
right.
delusional or whatnot. So for sure, do your thing, man. You know what I'm saying? Like, I hear dudes tell me stuff all the time, and in my head, I'm like, dude, you not even that caliber of dude to be having these kind of expectations.
Yeah,
But it would be rude for me to say that in real time.
Right. I mean, I think it's a tough conversation to have with people because, like I said, if somebody's delusional, they already have a preconceived notion about something. So whether it's a man or a woman, even we probably even have people in our own families, right? That we say, damn, it's delusion. Think about trying to have a conversation with them about that, right? It's going to be met with resistance, and they're probably going to be upset. Probably not talk to you over that.
Yeah, to me, dating is one of those situations where it requires two people to make a choice. And
Right.
so if you just focus on what you expect and what your rules are, what your deal breakers are, you have to be able to put in consideration what about their standards. What if they reject me because of something about me? And it seems like that's the part that men and women seem to overlook. Like, yeah, you know, getting chose or getting a woman to give you her number is essentially the first point where you're getting chose. But that could get cut off your first conversation with her. You could say something to where she blocked you, or she never responds to your texts or your calls again. And so being pleasant, being likable, operating in a way where somebody looks forward to seeing you again, looks forward to talking to you again. That is that formula is very recognizable, and the things that fall outside of it are recognizable too. So it should be very easy to recognize, man, if that's the way that you're going to approach it, you're going to be have people less likely to try to date you or less likely to go out with you. And when women say like, well, they can keep it moving, well, they can just like how many years or how many hundreds of men are you going pass up with the can just keep it moving before you realize you need to change something or you are the problem?
Well, I'll tell you when that phone stops ringing or they're not getting as much attention, those DMs as they once got, then it's oh shit, let me go back to some of those dudes I did curve in the past. That happens too.
Yeah, fellas, don't fall for that.
At
If
all.
there's really no such thing as escaping the friend zone. If she viewed you as a platonic friend and you express your interest in her, don't be her fall guy 5 years later when her baby daddy leaves her or whatnot. Like it's you're not going to get what you were expecting to get out of the deal because she's not really into you. If she was, you would have never been in the friend zone in the first place. You know what I mean? Now, like now,
Exactly.
now, don't get it confused. Approaching a woman that's not available because she's in a relationship, that's not the friend zone. That's not the same thing as being friend zone. Approaching a woman and she's engaged or she's in a relationship already, that's a timing issue. That is not her placing you in a platonic friend zone. You know what I mean? Like a woman that is completely available curving you is. So those are two different things. And you have to be able to tell the difference between the two. You know what I mean? Like
Yeah.
because timing matters. You can meet somebody in 2025 and they just got out of a relationship or they dealing with a divorce or they back and forth with somebody. They might not have been receptive to what you were presenting them. But that does not mean that y'all are not compatible or that y'all could not potentially have a healthy relationship if y'all are both available and open to the opportunity. So all those things should be able to get talked about and discussed in order to have
Absolutely.
success.
Absolutely. How can a man expect a loyal, feminine woman if he isn't financially stable or emotionally available?
I don't think, again, when we talking about what men and women expect out of the opposite sex, it always starts with you first. Like,
Yep.
where do you rank on these things? Attractiveness, income, personality, problem solving. Like, you have to make sure, and the way that I look at it, as long as the people that you're matching up with are within 1 to 2 points of you on a particular value or attribute, I think y'all relatively, reasonable. I think somebody that's a 6 or 7 can get with somebody that's an 8. You know what I'm saying? Like,
Right.
or some slightly lower than that. Um, but if you, I see guys all the time that they want a feminine woman that cooks and cleans and does everything right and does everything perfect, but they have so many shortcomings. They're not, their career's not popping. They weight's not in order. Their lifestyle is not stable and conducive to a healthy relationship or a family. So it's like, bro, what the hell makes you think you even husband material? And so that self-reflection and holding yourself accountable, recognizing like, damn man, I need to get my shit together. I need to change this and actually doing something about it. Um, I think that willingness to
Yeah,
self-correct and show initiative, I think those are the type of things that make somebody desirable
abs-
to the
absolutely.
opposite
I
sex.
would say another thing is, you know, dating at your level. But I think the problem with that is where delusion comes into play. Is people are delusional at where their level is at. You know, they want a lot of times, and it's just both men and women, right? Their level, they want somebody that's completely out their league. That's
I mean, I think it's natural for us to have crushes
no
on
doubt.
people and fantasies about people that may be out of your league. Um, but you're right. You you got to be able to, from a male perspective, we have to choose who's
Yeah.
interested in us. And so if the women that you find attractive are never checking for you, then you need to do something different. You need to change something about how you look, how you dress, how you approach women. You got to figure out what formula needs to be changed in order for you to have that success, because it's mostly a skill set. Like I was last weekend we were at a white party, and it was a upper tier white party. It was for Cigar
Yeah.
Week in Houston, and Ed Reed had a section and was DJing, so he was getting awards. So it was like a bunch of lawyers and doctors. Like it was a upper elite status people in the party or whatnot. And what I was noticing is all the men, like, you couldn't tell the difference really based on just, it was all white. Everybody kind of had on the same kind of outfits. Men had on the same little jewelry, whoop the whoop the whoop. So the thing that really separated the people is your swag and your personality. Like everybody, and to me, when you're dealing with men that have their lives together and women, that are really attractive, it's the intangibles, it's the personality, it's the conversation, it's the attitude. Those are the type of things that determine whether or not you somebody fun to be around, whether I want to sit next to you, where I'm going to spend time with you getting more drinks and more interaction, or whether it's going to be a short brief conversation. And that's where dating starts, you know and to me, that's the best place for us to start. You know what I'm saying? Like being at a public place where you
Yeah.
flirting face to face, and the jokes and responding to music and dancing and all that type of stuff, that's always going to be the gold standard for meeting the opposite sex or dating potential to me. Because when you're doing it on the app or online or through DMs or whatnot, there are always steps you got to take to get to that point, to where y'all both dressed nice, both got on
Yeah.
cologne, both in the mood, both available. Like if that time that y'all met in person, um, and even impromptu, you can meet somebody in one-on-one, and a dating situation can spark just off a couple drinks and a real good
Yeah, absolutely.
conversation. So hopefully people start to recognize when they fit the definition of
Uh,
delusional, and work towards getting back to
yeah, that's
reality.
gonna be a tough one there. I
Um,
would say. I mean, I think they can listen to the whole thing of what we just said and broke down, and I think people are still gonna be delusional, unfortunately. But at least I think if we can at least reach at least one, I think that's a victory right there.
Absolutely. All right, man. Looks like we up against the clock. We about to get up out of here. Before we go, I want to give another shout out to my man, Brother Soul Productions, for keeping us nice for our background music. I'd like to remind everybody to continue supporting the podcast through our Cash App and our PayPal. Jay, I
Yes, sir.
appreciate you linking up so we can get this episode knocked out. This has been another episode of the Hold a Husband podcast, y'all. Thanks for tuning in. Peace.